the guys are practicing at the restaurant.
Yeah. Hey,
Go ahead.
how you
Come
doing?
in.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, I bring you the most painful hour of your week. It's the Richie and Hazz show. What's up, Richie?
Painful. I hated that.
Now, if you're going to have a stroke,
Who's going to have the pain? Who's having the pain?
I have it every time I'm around you. And then I've been dealing with the laughing guy down at the end. Mr. Socrates Garrett is joining us. How are you doing, Socrates?
I'm doing well. Good to see you this afternoon.
Well, it's never good for me to see you, but, you know, the money's going one way in this relationship.
And
right
this is
now.
he's in a good mood right now.
Oh, wow. Wow.
Hey, once again, y'all let me lift my feet and let someone else do the, hauling. I'll be in a good mood.
Okay. All right.
But anyway, let's get
To whom much is given. You can finish that, can't you?
I just know I was an SOB in the previous life. And I must have committed every sin in the book, and God has punished me in this one. So he said, Alexander the Great, conquer the world. I'm going to send you to Jackson, Mississippi, and surround you. But the only competent person on the show, Dr. J. How are you doing, Doctor?
I am better than blessed.
Better than blessed. Is that even
That's pretty
possible?
good. That's really good.
It is good.
Yeah.
Let's get into some topics. Well, Richie, are you watching anything?
I'm watching you right now.
I've got an hour to kill, and you just asked me who's going to suffer the pain. You saw where your movie's about to come out.
Which one?
And please don't make any racial insensitive comments when I say this movie's name, because you do it every time, and we're trying to protect the Asian American community. Godzilla versus King.
Oh, Godzilla.
See?
I cannot wait.
You can't say Godzilla like
I can't.
that.
That's how you pronounce
That's
it.
not how you
Godzilla.
That's not how like Jewish man in Jackson,
who is
Mississippi.
Godzilla versus who?
King Kong.
Oh, King Kong.
I grew up on that.
Wait a minute. What do you mean versus who?
I didn't know. I didn't know about the movie.
It's like a remake done 1,000 times. Godzilla versus. You didn't grow up on
and
those?
technology's gotten so much better. It's going to be great.
Only time I saw Godzilla, he had the little white girl in his hand on top of the building.
That's King
That's
Kong.
King Kong.
Oh, that's King Kong.
That's
Okay.
King Kong.
Where
He's-
did you grow up watching?
I'm culturally deprived.
Favorite movie?
The Sting.
Okay,
That's
that's
a good
solid.
movie. That's a good
That's
movie.
solid. It's
That's
50
and
years
and a
old.
great song.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Dr. J, favorite movie?
The Color Purple.
Okay.
That's a good one.
That's a classic. Now, favorite TV show, Socrates?
Gunsmoke.
You know, I hear that
It's
a lot.
2021.
I hear that a lot. What do you watch it on? MeTV or?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's actually
Needs-
the #1 show on afternoons.
It actually,
pulls
I hear that
everything.
so many times,
Right.
and I hated it growing up. I could
I'm not a
stand
fan.
it. I'm not either.
21 years.
The Rifleman was okay.
was
Gunsmoke, I was
Good
too slow.
God, can we get something in color? Something. Well, I mean, Gunsmoke ended in color. It didn't start in color. Dr. J, favorite TV show?
Good Times.
That's a good one.
classic.
That's
And
a good one.
yeah, we've already talked about James moving to Mississippi and dying. Anybody in Mississippi dies, especially when you ask for money. But but no, Socrates, they used to wear the rubber suits. They'd do the little small villages or cities, and Godzilla would fight Mothra.
And they were out of sync because they actually were speaking Japanese.
They're dumb.
And they interpreted it in English, so they would move their mouth like, no, no, no. And it would be, yes.
I didn't see that.
Oh, it's great.
You didn't
I
see
can't
any
believe you
of
grew up
them?
with that.
No.
Well, anyway, they're solid. I love Godzilla growing up because he spits fire. King Kong was just beating things, had a weakness for blondes, and
And bananas.
well, I never saw King Kong eat a banana.
Well, I'm assuming.
Okay, let's not assume. Okay.
Okay.
But then
Maybe
What
like
do you think he ate?
we went probably whatever he got his hand on.
Oh,
It
okay,
depends.
okay,
But
okay.
the last King Kong movie, at first he was like 30 feet. The last one he was like 120 feet or something.
That was such a great movie.
And see,
That was such a great movie.
we're the odd couple. We are so different. I gotta quit using my left hand because I'm blocking my camera shot. But Richie and I disagree about everything. But we go to movies to get away from business and stuff like that. Now he won't. I'm the king after court. I'll just leave and go in a suit to get away and decompress. He'll drag me on a Saturday to see anything. But I won't go to something that's not at least reasonably rated. I understand the critics have a different perspective than the normal audience, but if it's like 25%, are you going, Dr. J, if something's at 25% on Rotten Tomatoes?
No.
Exactly. I've got 2 hours of my life I can go do something. This idiot will drag me to the worst movie, and I'll be like, please, I'm dying here. Can we go? And it's like, well, we paid money.
How did one of the wealthiest men in our community become an idiot? How you do that?
I drink heavily because of that, Socrates. Are we talking about you or are we talking about Richie?
No, we're talking about Richie for sure.
Too, both
for sure. You know, I'm not into Bitcoin.
Sure.
So I don't know.
I'm just saying, either one. I go home and look at you and think, you know what? I need to get a sledgehammer and just pounding my head until I get myself to a lower
I feel
IQ.
sorry for that sledgehammer.
Well, exactly.
Hey, by the way, the reason I don't believe in critics is because I remember, what was the guys that go
you're a
up
narcissist.
and down?
Roger Ebert and
Yeah.
Gene Siskel.
Well, there was a movie.
God rest their souls.
Yeah, there was a movie that came out called The Mountain Men, and it had
That was a pretty good movie.
It was a great movie.
It was a pretty good
They
movie.
said it was the worst movie of the year.
Okay, hang on. Mountain Men. I'm Googling
That's
it.
Charlton Heston.
I know, because we're not talking
Brian
about anything
Keane.
that happened in 2020.
No, but it was a great movie. And the critics said it was the worst movie of the year.
The
and I'm
critics,
going, are
hang
you
on.
crazy?
They're giving it a 7.3 on IMDb, which is a critic site. And it got... It's about a 70. Now they might turn it down, but anyway, we go see King Kong, and I'm just looking for something that. Let me ask you this, Socrates: when you leave work, I make fun, but you work very hard, and you have 17 companies, and I don't know about the 97 in the Caribbean. I don't know about where the coffee comes from, or I don't know what's in the coffee when it gets here. I'm not making any. I want to live
what's
today.
in the coffee?
I want to live to that. Okay,
Yeah.
so I'm not making any allegations.
Okay.
But what I'm saying, see, he got quiet when I said that. I'm about to, please, if I'm disappeared, Socrates.
He has a
here.
relationship with a doper, a dope.
Yeah, but where is that from there, Mr. Schwartz?
That came from.
I know where it came
okay,
from, but
yeah.
you got to reference it if you're going to use it. That's from
I
your
have to be
favorite-
careful with you. I don't know which way you're going.
no, but what I'm saying is, when you leave work, what do you do to decompress? Do you watch something heavy? Like, I can't do crime dramas. I can't do documentaries. I want something light. I don't want to think. It hurts to think after writing briefs all day and arguing all day. And so I want either sports, maybe wrestling, or comedy. I don't want to see one of these true crime dramas where the kid's missing.
Yeah, that's really a weekend thing when you're bored.
No, I can't do that at all.
Yeah, because it's interesting to determine what happened.
No, I mean, if a kid's missing, but what do you go to when you want to relax and watch? Do you watch something?
Well,
or
my
what?
routine is pretty consistent. When I get home, then I do news.
Okay.
I go to
Woo!
the news channel for news anytime.
No, wait,
You
what's
get the bad news.
What's your go-to news channel?
16.
Okay, WAPT.
WAPT.
You don't do the cable. You don't do CNN or Fox or.
Very little. I'm tired of them dragging Como through the ringer the way they're doing him right now.
Okay, hang on. We're going to come back to Cuomo, but go ahead. So WAPT, you turn it on. So
Yeah,
you're
and I just-
home at 6 o'clock.
Well, I never get home
You
at 6
quit
o'clock.
home at 6. So that's when my news is on at WAPT.
No, but I go to the channel, News On. You get the news
okay.
any time of day.
So 6:45 you're home.
No.
Okay. I'm
No.
just asking.
No.
He's watching 10 o'clock. He's working till 10 o'clock.
Yeah.
You missed it. He's working to 9:45, makes it home and watch 10 o'clock news.
Yeah.
That's the
And
guy.
then after that, I'll watch Billions.
What is that?
It's
That's
a
the series,
Showtime
yeah.
show. It's about the billionaire investors, the mutual hedge fund guys, and things like that. But it's very interesting. But they get off. I watch it also, but they get off on some tangents. I've recommended Succession for him on HBO. It's a little bit more realistic. But Billions is a solid pick.
Yeah.
So do you watch one series till it's done and you start another one?
Well, just depend upon how I'm feeling. I may watch 2 series. I may
Okay.
watch one, and then I'll put on, Alexa will put on Amazon.com music for me for the rest of the evening, and then I'll.
Okay, what Amazon.com? What's it playing? What's Alexa?
I have my
playing for you?
playlist.
Okay, what's it playing?
Well,
Give me some songs.
Well,
Just
old school songs, Johnny
Jazz?
Taylor, and
John Hooker.
No, Jerry Butler
Okay.
and Nancy Wilson.
So R&B.
Yeah, R&B,
Okay,
and
that's
soft,
a-
and I'll turn it down low, and then I'll eventually.
Okay, Richie.
sleep.
Richie gets home. You hit the gym around 7ish, 6:30.
If I hit the gym, yeah.
Okay.
And then
Well, you got a wedding come up. You better hit the. I mean,
I listen. I'm already
Pictures.
taken. I don't have to do that. My body goes, thank God. I don't have to do that anymore.
but go ahead. So you hit the gym, and I make fun of Richie, but Richie really, we have a mutual friend who's going through some major health
Yeah,
issues. But
yeah.
please take this time as we get older. And Socrates, I don't know if you work out, but if you don't, start.
Yeah.
It's important. But Richie's done a fabulous job. He's dropped. Now we debate. At one point, I knew he got up to 244. He doesn't remember that back then. But now he's
It was all muscle.
no, it wasn't. But now, I mean, you work out. You were working out when we were working out about 6 days a week, doing something active.
Yeah,
whether it
yeah.
was tennis.
yeah. I still work out.
Okay.
He said he
I
was
play
doing
tennis
that before he got taken.
Yeah, that's right.
But now he's working out by carrying the bag to the car.
I lift
shopping
weights
trips.
2 times a week and play tennis 2 times. a
Okay,
week.
so when you get home now you run a 150 member law firm. You're in constant motion when you're there. You're checking on people, supervising things, and even handle a few cases. What do you do to relax?
Well, that's a good question. I mean, right now I'm going to watch basketball.
Okay.
That's
SEC.
relaxation. Yeah.
Okay.
That's what I do. But normally, I don't sit down and watch television like I used to.
Interesting fact. Richard
I did
Schwartz,
watch Coming to America though. That was nice.
It was okay.
Yeah, but it was nice.
Dr.
I ain't
J,
seen a new movie.
Dr. J, A to F, Coming to America 2. Okay, let's set a parameter. Or let's set a. Let's
It's
wait.
nostalgic, is why. It was
Okay,
so
I agree
good.
with that. Coming to America, the original. Dr. J, what do you give it? A to F.
A.
What do you give it? Did you see it, Socrates?
The original.
I saw it. C.
What
the
did you give the original?
A.
Okay, I give the original B plus. It's cutting edge.
I
It was
gave it-
very good. But I don't like when those Saturday Night Live guys, and they're all guilty of it. Whether we're talking about Adam Sandler, they do the skits in the show. And
Adam
sometimes they hit-
Sandler is the same character in every movie he plays.
Well, no, there's no doubt. But Will
Yeah.
Ferrell, we could be talking about. They all do their little skits.
Yeah.
But now let's be. Eddie Murphy to me, you got the trilogy. You got Beverly Hills Cop, Trading Places, and 48 Hours.
Well, I'll tell you why
Now that-
I think it was so good. It's because Arsenio Hall and Eddie Murphy played so many characters.
That's what I'm saying.
That's
but that
what
doesn't
made
make
it
a
great.
movie.
Yeah.
It
That's
makes
what made it
Well,
great.
I gave it a C because
Now, the
I didn't like.
original?
I
The
didn't like.
original.
Yeah, the original because he could only have a McDougal's.
Wow.
He wanted
like
to get
a
as close to
McDonald's?
McDonald's as he could.
Yeah.
So he named this restaurant McDougal.
I remember.
And that's
the
why you
gag.
gave it a C?
Yeah.
Just
yeah.
because of one gag.
So
you
if he actually had a McDonald's, it would be an A?
He'll be an A then. But he had a
How much
McDougal's.
do you hate McDonald's? You know that's fiction, right? You know that wasn't. You know that wasn't. You know. Wait. You know that wasn't Evans. What's his name? From Good Times. That wasn't James Evans from Good Times.
Oh,
okay.
okay.
That's fiction. He's
Well,
playing another
it's
character.
pretty real life to me.
Okay. So what was your you wanted him to have a McDonald's?
I wanted him to have a McDonald's.
Well,
I wanted him mainstream, not with a McDougal's on the corner.
You're projecting some issues there. They would have gave him a franchise. He just didn't want to pay the money for the franchise.
I didn't know.
But anyway, okay, Dr. J, Coming to America 2, what do you give it, A to F?
A C.
Have you seen it, Socrates?
I have not seen it.
Richie, what do you give it?
I give it a B because of the nostalgia effect of it. I mean, because you had all the characters in it, and Eddie Murphy and Arsenio Hall still played the other characters. So I give it a B.
I give it a C plus. It seems like they shot it in a couple of weeks, and it was a money grab. They could have one. It's too late. They should have done the sequel a long time ago. But two, I didn't like the new characters. But it was fun to see everybody back.
That's
together.
right. And you know what's a B is because they're not making movies right now, and so it's just great to see a new movie.
Okay, but let me ask y'all this. If you win an Oscar this year, because, I mean, the big pictures have not been released yet. They're holding on to them, a couple of... If you win an Oscar
Except for King Kong and Godzilla.
Best picture?
That's the big picture.
Okay,
there's no one bigger than King Kong. Come on. No one bigger than King Kong.
And it was a C plus, B minus. It was a mind-numbing movie. And this idiot turns to me and goes, "That's the best movie I've ever seen."
It was.
And I turned to him and I said,
it was awesome.
No, I mean, this one, Kong, has Sam Jackson in it.
Yeah.
Did it have Goodman in it, John Goodman, the fat guy?
No, that's a one prior.
Okay. It had some good actors, and I'm a Sam Jackson fan. But no, it was not the greatest movie.
And the scenery was beautiful. The movie was great. Oh, man, it was great.
So, anyway,
I like the Black Panther.
Oh, that's a great. Unfortunately, there won't be a 2.
No, they're shooting a 2. They're not going to recast Chadwick Boseman's role. They're wondering who gets it, and they're talking about bringing Michael Jordan, the villain, back. They're talking about bringing him because he's a famous actor. He played in Creed and some other stuff. But there's going to be a 2 because it made $1 billion.
Yeah.
But see, that's what Coming to America was trying to be. Of course, Black Panther had the ability to come after it. But, I mean, that was just an exceptional movie.
And Eddie Murphy was the producer on that movie, so he made a fortune.
Black Panther?
No, Coming to America, too.
Yeah.
He was the producer on it.
Of course, yes. I mean,
so I don't know how much he paid for it, but it had to be in the millions.
I'm sure they did the whole... I mean, it's like Adam Sandler. They have a formula. They get all their friends together. They pay them all $1 million each. They travel somewhere. And
What kind of friends are those? Pay them all $1 million each.
I don't like our relationship.
Those are cheap friends in those movies.
I don't like where this is going. Because I just found out I'm not going to make $1 million off my podcast if Socrates is involved. That's what I just heard. I don't know if y'all heard that. Okay, so we're all sitting down, relaxing. Okay, Dr. J, are you watching anything?
Am I watching you on the screen?
Currently,
That's what I
are
just
you
said.
streaming anything?
Yes, I'm watching this excellent movie on Netflix. I think it's Beyond Their Eyes. It is so good. I want to do a live review on it.
I have not heard of that.
Is it a movie or a series?
It's a series.
Okay.
And it's in the top 10. I think it's number 7 on Netflix.
Beyond Their Eyes?
Yes.
What's it about? Give us a little preview.
This lady and her husband moved to a town, and they knew there. He's a psychiatrist, and he meets this black lady. He actually bumped into her at the bar, and they share a kiss. And he ends up being the new psychiatrist at her office, and they start an affair. And the wife have some type of powers that she sees all of this that's going on and befriends the black lady that's having an affair with her husband. So, and there's so much stuff at the end that you have to watch it. And it turns out that this lady...
Well, don't spoil it.
Watch the
Good
movie.
God, don't give a spoiler.
Watch the movie.
It's rated 7.2, so it's not your... Netflix does not mind producing or putting out some crap. So, I mean, this is rated 7.2, but, I mean, you're about to give everything away. But, I mean, see, I've got to go ratings. You don't go ratings on shows.
No.
I can't do 8 to 10 hours
So
on a show.
I don't judge it what other people think.
Right.
I judge it for what I like. Like, you don't like
you
King
walk
Kong,
away from
the greatest movie that was ever made.
I did not say. I said it was a solid C+, B-. It was a good matinee. But, you like things where you can just sit there and go, duh. And, that's fine. I like things that challenge me a little bit. And, it's okay. I know.
Well, no, that's not true. We go to cartoons together, and they're great. And one of the greatest cartoons, and one of the greatest movie cartoons we ever saw.
We don't have any, we're going to be hitting so many movies.
So y'all be watching Scooby-Doo together?
This wait. This guy right here, this idiot down there took me, we were so bored. And some of it's just boredom. Now that he's, engaged, he doesn't even know my name anymore. He's like that guy. Yeah. But now he goes, we got to go watch something. And we're sitting there looking. It's like we've seen everything, and then we're sitting there, and he goes, well, we haven't seen the live action SpongeBob. And I was like, no. And he's like, I got 2 for SpongeBob. So we're there, and when you look like me, and there's a bunch of kids in there, all the family thinks I'm some sort of sick pedophile coming in there to grab a kid.
Why would they think that?
Because I'm 6'6", and I got a shaved head, and I'm sitting in there, and you go use the restroom. There I am eating my popcorn with SpongeBob. So anyway, go ahead. But you were going to say about cartoons.
We saw one of the greatest cartoons ever made.
Which one's that?
That was the one with the sloth at the
Zootopia.
Zootopia, man, that was so good.
Y'all have not seen Zootopia?
Oh man,
it's Disney animation about racial relations.
It is really good.
It has it really is well done. It's intelligent. It's about the persecution of being a fox or a predator. And whether predators and prey, but it's racial overtones.
It's like Archie Bunker.
Well, no, it's not. But it's intelligently done, where you have to judge the person. But one, you never heard of it. To me, the best movies or best shows are when the ones you haven't heard of, and you stump, because the great ones, like Get Out. By the time I saw Get Out, it was an independent show. And it was supposed to be kind of like...
you got in to see Get Out?
See, that's just dumb comedy, and you're laughing, Dr. J. That's just horrible. That's nothing. That's Adam Sandler
After a
less.
long day, that's all I want to do is laugh.
Well, then we need to get him in a comedy and get him... Well, this is what we need for the Richard Schwartz movie. A dinosaur costume for Godzilla.
No, I'm a King Kong fan, not a Godzilla fan.
You're not a Godzilla fan?
No, when King Kong's fighting Godzilla, I'm for King Kong.
Why?
Because he's the good guy. Godzilla's always portrayed as the bad guy in the Japanese movie. Yeah, he was the bad guy.
So King Kong eating people and kidnapping people?
No, King Kong came into existence to beat up Godzilla, because Godzilla would destroy everything. That's why King Kong came into existence.
Is that kind of like why they brought the... alligators to the reservoir to try to control the beaver?
Now, I was waiting for you to where that went. That's why they brought them to Greenville in Washington County. The farmers couldn't handle the beavers building dams, so they released all the alligators. I didn't know if that was the same here. That's the dumbest thing I've ever heard. But that's true. That's what
true.
happened.
Yeah.
I guess they didn't have 22.
So which one was the good guy, the beaver or the alligator?
I hate both of them. I've shot a lot of them before it was illegal or I had a law license.
Well, I hate to say this, but I haven't seen any black guys out there catching no alligators. Not putting their hands.
You could be the first.
Yeah, I probably could be, but I'm not going to be the first.
Why not?
And I'm not going to put my hand up in no barrel to grab no catfish. Just up in the. Who puts their hand up in a barrel under the water?
Asking us, we don't.
Well, I don't know.
We don't know.
I just said I never saw any black guy do it. So you being white, I thought maybe you understood
it by nature. Know each other. We all know each other.
You know why you would do it. I don't know.
No, you don't. I don't do any of that. Now, I fish, and I've hunted, and I've shot everything. Now, he took me to a shooting range the other day, and it was awkward for me to walk in with my pistol, because I was like, can we legally walk in with our pistols? And, everybody's got a pistol, and it was a very nice spot, and I won't name it. But he had this, and he had one of his daughter's boyfriends that never shot a gun, so we were going to teach him how to shoot. And Richie had a new gun he wanted to try out. So we were sitting there, and...
I forgot to bring ammo.
Well, you can, yeah.
Because they didn't have any
The 45
fit.
or 40.
Yeah, they didn't have any to fit my gun. There's an ammo shortage, obviously, right?
Yeah, everybody's worried about the bans that are not going to happen.
Mm.
But I walked in, and you can rent the machine guns. And I grew up that if I shot about near you, that was okay. If someone shot where Richie and I are, which is about 3 feet, it was going to be a fight. I walk in there, and I thought from the movies, the shooting ranges would be like, you know, you'd have a wall, and you see some people over there, you hear them, but there'd be a solid. It was like a urinal, and bullets were kind of flying in the air. And I looked at Richie, and my first instinct, and you have to be careful because this just happened in Jersey. Someone got in a shootout and got shot at a shooting range. Man, I hear people that close shooting. There were about 20 people, 15 people, and about what?
Yeah,
40
very,
feet.
very about the size, a little bit bigger than the studio.
And I'm like, I don't know y'all. Y'all shooting way too close to each other. I turned to Richie. I said, I'm out. He's like, something's wrong with the hearing? Your ear protection? I said, no, nothing's wrong with the ear protection. I don't know these fools. I'm out. I went and played with one of his grandkids, and his daughter and I were outside, but no, I couldn't.
It was really strange to see that many bullets flying in the air from everywhere and all over the floor, and they just get a broom and push it. There were bullets everywhere.
When the bullet hit my leg, I was like, no, I can't do this. I can't do it. Because, and I mean, I've had some death threats from prosecutors. I was like, no, I'm not doing it. I'll go to a field, shoot some things up. Now, are you a shooter, Soccer? Do you hunt?
Oh, yeah. I'm Army.
Okay, I know that.
Advanced
do you
infantry.
still shoot?
Yeah.
What's your gun of choice?
Well, back in the day, it was the M1.
Well, I know that. I mean, back when y'all were taking up, what war were you in?
It was the musket.
You're happy just to have someone older than you're happy. So what was the gun? What war did you fight?
Well, I was in the Vietnam War.
Okay. Did you see any action?
No, I had a finance degree from Alcorn State when they drafted me.
Okay.
So I got to spend 2 years at Tacoma, Washington, Fort Lewis.
Well, that's nothing wrong with that.
No,
how was Washington? You obviously didn't want to stay.
Well, no, it rained every other day, and other than that, it was beautiful.
Okay.
Yeah.
You've been to Washington?
I'm not.
I've never been to Washington. Dr. J?
No, I haven't been.
Yeah. I hear good things, except it's real close to Canada.
You don't want to go in the wintertime.
See, but it never gets that cold, does it? Or does it? Because
I can't imagine it does.
Well, you could get up into Oregon and parts like that where you can see the mountains and it's cold. But Stanton Park, right in Canada, right out of Seattle, is beautiful. When I went in there, I had about $100 with me. I'm in the Army; they wouldn't pay me, but $75 a month. And so I went into Stanton Park with my $100 bill, and they changed it. I had stacks of money this tall just for the change from that 100, and it was all different colors. I was rich.
There you go. So how much did you have after you came back from Canada?
No, I didn't have any. Because I was afraid to bring all that different colored money back here, so I tried to spend it all.
That was the reason.
Yeah.
Wasn't the bar or some...
No, I just bought stuff.
Okay.
Yeah.
But anyway, have any desire to go back to Canada?
No, I don't. I understand that Canada's a beautiful place, but...
it's in our attic, and we forget it's there all the time.
I don't.
And it's the attic of America.
Yeah.
Canada.
Yeah.
And
I've never heard it called. For
well,
some
you
reason,
just did.
The attic of America. I've never heard it called the attic.
Well, I want to know what is the basement.
Look it up.
Basement is Mexico.
Mexico.
Wow.
Okay, that makes sense.
I don't know if you can say that.
Well, I mean, I'm just saying that's what I just said it. I know.
I like to call Mexico our southern neighbor.
They are a southern
Not
neighbor,
our
but if
basement.
you in the form of a house, attic, basement.
I got the analogy.
Okay, I'm just trying to explain to you
I'm
because
just
I didn't think you
explaining.
got it right.
Okay, but here's a couple things I want to ask y'all. Meghan Markle, the princess. Did y'all see everybody's just staring.
The
at
interview?
me. Yeah.
No, I didn't see it.
you
I
see the
don't
interview?
care. Who cares?
I saw some of it. I didn't see.
Who cares?
Dr. J, did you see it?
I didn't see the interview, but I did see Piers Morgan piece when he walked off the air.
Now this is Good Morning Britain. Good Morning Britain. Do you know who we're talking about?
No.
He had a little run on Apprentice back when people were kind of still watching, and he took over for Larry King. He was a British guy, and it didn't go well here. So he went back home, and he's kind of a famous guy there. But he had gone out with Meghan when she was like a C-plus actor on Suits, and it sounded like she met Prince Harry, and ghosted him. And there's some animosity there or something. But I mean, he had your what I would call your traditional. She knew what she was getting into. They were making accusations they shouldn't have made out in public. He was to me, and correct me if I'm wrong, Dr. J, he was voicing the traditional English point of view. Of course, he's 55. Like, don't insult the Queen, that type of deal.
Well, he went a little further than that. He was saying that he didn't believe that she had mental illness. He didn't believe that she was trying to kill herself. So, but how can he say that, about anybody? You don't know anybody's mental
You got to remember, they're doing this interview to make money. They already cut them off.
Well, it sounds
they got to make some money.
It sounds like someone is taking the same position. No, I mean, I think he can say.
I'm not saying it's not true, but they're doing it to make money, so they need to make it
juicy.
Yeah,
some
juicy.
detail.
Yeah.
You don't want to write the autobiography of you going home and playing video games.
That's a good.
Your
point.
Autobiography needs to have some killing.
Yeah,
some
juice.
some women of
the
the
juice.
night.
Some affairs.
Some affairs.
Yeah.
But I mean, here's my problem. I would never marry into that family. Would there be
your teeth are too good to marry in that family.
Would there be a more racist family directly than the English? I had to look up their names because I didn't know their last names. Edinburgh, I think it's it. But what I'm saying is they enslaved continents. The King of England, they're direct descendants of enslaving India. They had the biggest empire in the world.
They did.
They're not going to accept a commoner no matter who we are. So why would you put yourself into that position?
That's completely different. That's when kings actually ruled something.
But what I'm saying,
this guy's
they're direct
a figurehead.
descendants.
Yeah, but no, they don't do anything. They're just
I understand
figurehead.
that, but what I'm saying is they're going to be the most elite family in the history who are living today. Socrates,
It's a lot of interbreeding in that family.
do you agree or disagree?
Well, I don't know. I haven't studied the royal family that much, but I thought that the queen owned all of the land. So, I mean, if
they rent it or something, and they have a trust.
I mean, I guess she could put everybody out if she wanted to. Not renew their lease, put Parliament out, and everybody.
See, there's some weird deal. But yeah, that's my whole point. My point is they are so removed from reality that I would never want to be. I mean, going in there and expecting.
They'd be a great reality show.
Yeah. The King and Queen.
Yeah, that whole family. That would be a great show.
That's what their lives
I'd watch
are.
that show.
I wouldn't.
I'd watch. I don't care what happens to the family.
There's no way she was going to get treated fairly. And I mean, either you would have him leave before you're married.
Well, all I know is that William will never become king.
Why?
Because the queen is going to live forever.
No, you're talking about Charles.
Charles, that's the name, Charles.
William's the grandson.
Okay.
The queen. Well, I don't know if y'all seen The Crown.
Yes, on Netflix.
It's a good show. I lost interest. When Queen Elizabeth became queen, her grandmother was the first person to kneel before her. And I sat there and I had to walk away from it because my Mimi was never bowing to her grandson. Also, I wouldn't allow that to happen. Yeah. But for that to happen, I'm like,
that's royalty, that's expected.
Hey, Mimi ain't bowing to anybody, okay? Yeah. My grandmother ain't bowing to me, ain't bowing to anybody. And that's when I was like, those are different.
Beat the bejeebers out of.
Well, either way, but I'm just saying, man, I understand you got to get tradition, but like, Mimi, you need to get up. You don't bow to me. I'll go get Mimi something to eat or a drink. But no, that's what I'm saying. There are traditions over there. You're not going to go in. I think, do I believe what she said? Do I believe the pressures gave her suicide thought? Yes, I truly believe that. Do I believe there were questions? One of the questions were, and he said it wasn't the grandmother or grandfather, so it means it was William or Prince Charles. Have you thought about what color the baby's going to be? And if I had to guess, it was Prince Charles, but he wouldn't name them. But, I mean, I can see that conversation happening for someone 65, 60-something years old who lives in that world and worried about their image. Is it racist? Of course it is. But I believe her on that. But I believe she was somewhat naive to think that England was going to accept her.
So why did they leave? Did they even talk about why they left?
Because of the pressures of the house not being accepted by the public or by the family. Did I say that correctly, Dr. J?
Yeah,
By the
and
public.
they was trashing her in the media and making it a whole, about her race and color.
She was the first, she was the first commoner to be married into England, and then she was the first black woman.
Wait a minute, she wasn't.
No,
Prince
she wasn't.
Diane was a commoner.
No, Prince Diane had more royal blood. There were some arguments that she was like from a lord and duchess. No, she was picked. He was in love with that Camille or whatever. She was picked because of her lineage. She was not a commoner.
Well,
Like
I thought she was an American.
which one?
Diana.
No. She's from England.
Yeah,
Oh,
she was from
okay.
England.
Oh no, they made statements that she was, that was a selected marriage, or they gave, pick 5 or whatever. But no, he was already in love with his
That's the
current
dating
wife.
game. You have 5 contestants.
Okay.
Pick the one you want.
Here's the funny thing about it: we make fun of arranged marriages, and we both know some Indian folks, and I've talked to them about it, and I've seen some analysis about it. They said, "Let me get this straight: y'all would rather have an 18 or 20-year-old hormone-driven choice than a family make a business economic decision and understand for 50 to 60 years."
Most arranged marriages work because that's their custom. in the
Correct. That's
country
what I'm
they're
saying.
in.
You're having adults look long term, and because I was talking to them, I'm like, you're not civilized. You have arranged marriages, and I got in a very interesting conversation with an Indian gentleman. He's like, "So you believe in love?" And I was like, He goes, "How's that working out for you?" And I was like, "Huh." He's like, "We believe in the traditions that marriage is a union, that you need to look long term socially. You need to look at what you're raised." And he said, "You Hazard, you've been looking for something that does not exist." And I was sitting there in my 30s thinking, yeah, that arranged marriage ain't too bad when you really think.
Right.
And I mean, it's marriage.
You can
start off
order
as
a
property.
bride anytime you want. Just good looking Russian women. You can pick what you want.
Any color.
Wow.
Yeah, that's
Wow.
right.
No, I can tell you right
Inside.
now, a white redneck is not going to be ordering an African American bride. I think I'll get in trouble for that.
You would have to leave
I
the
think
wrong
there's some
family.
amendments. I think there's some amendments against such things.
Look under financial first. Millionaire. That's where you start. Then you start.
I'm going to buy a millionaire bride.
Yeah.
Well,
Why
let me.
would a
They
woman?
they need husbands too.
I think
Yeah,
you're
they
looking
do.
for a sugar something. On
No,
the
they're
other
going to be
hand.
the sugar mama.
That's what I'm
That's what
saying.
you got right
think
now.
I don't think I'd be buying them. I think it's the reverse. But anyway,
They need love too. Come on.
okay, moving on.
Well, you know that arranged marriage was necessary because at the time, no one went anywhere, so everybody was
true.
related to everybody. So you had to navigate who you could marry. So we picked that out for you. And so now, with everybody went off to college and you no longer have the ability to arrange a marriage. And I'll take you back to the customs in England before. The children went by their mother's last name and not their father's last name because, they didn't go anywhere, so they went by kept their mother's last name.
And
That only changed, Richie, when the child collection people got involved. Then they had to have the daddy's name.
Really?
So
Huh. And
How do you know all this about England?
he knows everything. It's
He's
amazing.
gonna answer. He's just giggling down there, cackling.
I study. I watch billions and I watch how things work and how the world operates. So,
Okay.
But it also, arranged marriages was about how many goats will they give you.
Yeah.
It's all about goats and chickens and stuff. That's how it really why it happened.
Well, no, people. That's another thing we were talking
You
about.
sell your loved ones for cattle.
When people would argue about gay marriage, pro or con, they were romanticized what marriage was. Marriage was a property contract.
That's right.
And people forget in the 1900s in the United States, there's court cases where people would just show up at the circle, at the square, and said, come get her. I'm done. But people romanticize where, you know, people were in love and no. And then you get into those weird marriages where someone's 33 and someone's 14 back in the 1800s or 1900s where you're just but like Socrates was talking about, well, you didn't have Match.com or the internet or eHarmony. You moved to Oregon and you were the only people there within 150, you know, miles or whatever. And, you know, your children were your resource. Yeah. And, you know, it's a different world.
You know, and you know what they say about Arkansas, when you get a divorce, you might get a divorce in Arkansas, but you'll still be Ken.
You still be what?
Ken.
You know.
Wow.
Mississippi
slamming Arkansas.
Yeah, and you know what?
I mean, wow.
You know the difference between a tornado and a divorce in how a tornado and a divorce are the same in Arkansas?
No.
Either way, you're going to lose a trailer.
This sucks. This podcast sucks. I'm just gonna say right now, and I don't even like Arkansas. And I've been up there. We used to go.
It's beautiful country. It's a beautiful state. It's a beautiful state. I don't know. It actually is one of the prettiest states in the country.
We used to go whitewater. You've been up to Flippin? We would go whitewater fishing up there. And but yeah, we got lost one time, and a guy in a camo hat with a 357 came out in underwear. Honk or shoot. Well, I'll shoot. And my grandfather and my brother and I all had our pistols, and he had his pistols. I was waiting for us to start shooting. My grandfather was like, "Don't move." He was very nice. I think he was growing. I think he was ahead of the curve on the marijuana business.
Okay.
And we stumbled upon somewhere we should not have been.
He was going to defend it.
Yeah, he was going to make sure. But he was very nice sitting in his underwear and his tank top with his 357.
That reminds me of the most intense movie I've ever seen. It was where the National Guard was
I thought it was Kong.
No, intense.
Okay.
Was when the National Guard was dropped in the Louisiana Ozarks.
No, Bayou, Southern Comfort.
Southern Comfort. You ever seen that?
No, I haven't.
That's an intense movie.
Okay.
It is
I gotta make
really
a note of
intense.
It's Powers booth. They went down. They were doing war games and some Cajuns, and the Cajuns is not
the Cajuns won.
Yes.
That's an intense movie.
But it's very interesting. Okay, back to Cuomo. Do y'all think he should resign or not?
No.
Okay. Absolutely not.
Whoa, Dr. J.
Well,
I heard that.
I don't think he
for those who
should
do
resign.
not listen,
I do like him as a person, but we cannot discount after 6 women, I think, have
if
come
he was a
forward.
Republican, would y'all be defending him as
Yeah,
hard?
I say he need to resign.
Well, go ahead, Richie. What's your position?
Just because they make allegations doesn't mean it's true. I mean, what happens is one woman says something, and then another woman says, "Oh, by the way, yeah, he kind of did something," and it's nothing. So I don't think people making statements that something happened is
okay. He admitted about lying about the nursing home deaths, right?
What?
Well, that's what
the nursing home.
That's what politicians do. They lie.
Okay, so you're giving him a pass on that.
Yeah.
If Trump would have done it, would you give him a pass?
I've never given him a pass, but he
he got a pass though. They gave him a pass for all those cases.
All he does is lie.
Right.
What, Trump?
I attacked him.
So what I'm saying,
but that's just one little lie. Trump was a big lie.
Okay. Socrates?
Yeah.
Would you give him a pass?
Absolutely.
Why?
Because you mean Trump?
No, I'm talking about. Oh wait, well you're a Trump fan?
No, I'm not. But
I'm talking about Cuomo.
Oh, I don't think he should be charged with anything.
I'm not charged, but should he resign?
No, he should not resign.
Okay.
He shouldn't even be charged.
Okay.
He shouldn't
be investigated.
Right. Shouldn't resign either.
He should be investigated.
Okay.
I agree with that.
One of the things that I really, wish that Trump had done was to pardon the black guy that's in prison. Bill Cosby.
Oh, stop!
I really,
you would never.
Stop!
I really thought that the prison reform thing that he did was good.
So you don't think 72 women coming forward and him drugging people?
Well, I think his body of work
forgives the rapes.
I think his body
So
of
if
work.
I'm successful
you
enough,
know,
I can
Michael
warrants something.
Jackson was the greatest singer ever, so it was okay to do what he did.
Molested children. Don't say do
Well,
what he did.
I don't know if he
With
did
Jesus,
that.
Oh, there were some settlements.
I don't know.
There were some settlements.
Well,
Okay, wait. No, you're not. I'm not taking him off the hot sheet. You're saying that if a man's successful enough, he can drug and rape women. And
No,
that's what Bill did.
I said he should not have done that. But now that he did that,
Okay.
then now we have to weigh, you know, how do we treat this?
So how does that affect the women that were, if you pardon him, what about the victims?
Well, I tell you, it's just a horrible situation. And
It really isn't.
It's a horrible
what I'm saying
situation.
is it's a
No one
criminal
can win,
situation.
but as a society, we're not gaining anything by locking up an 85-year-old man.
Now, okay, that argument.
You know, we don't gain anything by that.
That argument I can understand, but
not a pardon.
But not what he's
Not
done.
a pardon. Not a pardon.
If you want to send him home on house arrest because it's incarcerating someone with those medical issues, or because him being in jail, or any 85-year-old man, he could get killed and it's not a death penalty cases. From a criminal standpoint, I can understand that. Because like I said, you don't want anybody in jail to be stabbed just because as they get older, and those decisions are made on a normal. There's an argument to be made that Bill Cosby's being penalized because how famous he is by still being incarcerated with his health conditions. Because they're like, if I'm a normal person, they'd send me home.
Well, we know that the Rat Pack had a way of doing things back in the day, and you know
Well,
we
he
can't.
wasn't in the Rat Pack though.
Well, I'm talking about them though,
Okay.
Sammy Davis and
Sinatra.
that was a
Lewis
different
and,
world. Different
you know,
world.
You know,
Yeah.
Different
But
world.
so you're saying. So what are you
times
saying?
were different back
Socrates?
then.
Yes.
Okay, but what I'm saying is, it still was a crime. You can't drug somebody.
No, you can't.
Okay.
You shouldn't do that.
Yes.
Okay.
Now, I mean, the only argument.
So we shouldn't have arrested, what's his name? Dayla Beckworth for shooting Malcolm. I mean, not Malcolm, Medgar
Evers.
Evers. So he shouldn't be arrested.
Well,
He was
see-
old as well.
He died.
He
in
didn't have a body of
He
work.
died in Boston.
He didn't have anything that I could look at that was worthy
Wow.
of him being given any consideration.
Okay, but Dr. J, but let me
but-
reverse it to you. Go ahead, Socrates.
I was just
Finish it.
saying, Cosby touched a lot of lives in a lot of
And
different
a lot of
ways.
women.
Now, you know what? I'm going to give Dr. J on that one.
yeah.
I'm going to give her on that one. But here, let me ask you this, Dr. J. Michael Jackson, you listen to his music still?
Not really.
Okay. Did you listen to? Is it because of what he did, or you just not a fan?
I am a fan of his music, and I do believe that he did what they accused him of.
Well, I understand. Now, tell me if I'm wrong. When
You're
they
wrong.
raided his
You've been
house,
wrong.
they found a sex doll of a little boy under his bed. Now, if you have a sex doll under your bed, it ain't just for show.
Wow.
Okay?
Wow.
Maybe it was a comedy gift.
Yeah.
No. There's a theory out there, and now I haven't watched all the documentaries because I can't get into them. But there's a theory out there that Joe Jackson, the reason his voice was so high and some other issues was that he was having chemically castrated because he was a pedophile, and that's one of the reasons his voice stayed so high.
Well, if he was a pedophile, why would he do it if he didn't have any?
No. What I'm saying is, when I say
He
chemically
got
castrated.
hands. He got other
But
things.
what-
No.
I mean,
What I'm saying
what
is,
satisfaction
when
you
I
get from
said
that?
chemically castrated, it means it also lowers your sex drive, and by reducing your testosterone, and that's why his voice was so high.
Well, the moment he did the park, that's a good sign that something's wrong with the boy.
Park.
Yeah, when he had the Ferris wheel and all the.
Oh no! Yes.
It was a entrapment.
Yes. No. Yes.
Yeah.
And I mean, you hear stories about but no. But the question is, can we separate? Okay, Harvey Weinstein. Now, under your analysis, Socrates, he made a lot of great movies. He shouldn't be in jail.
Right. I think we should give some consideration for that.
I
I mean, again, one should look at the body of work of individuals and take some of that into consideration. I mean, we all make mistakes along the way, but we look at those things because the world is not perfect. I mean,
Okay. No, I'm not saying that. But what I'm saying is, once you let me flip it on you, and this is what happened, and this is a common occurrence. especially when we're dealing with race issues. White Stanford swimmer raped a girl. He got 18 months because he had so much to live for. If that would have been a black male in Jackson, we're talking about at least 10 to 15 years. Because but he didn't have the advantage. Because when I was prosecuting, I used to get angrier at the kids from Jackson Prep or Jackson Academy because I knew they had more. I held it against them. I would hold it against Bill Cosby because you have more assets to get help to deal with your issues than the normal person.
And think about this for a minute. He had more money than you could ever think of. Why didn't he just hire a prostitute? Why did he have to do what he just did? That even makes sense.
Well, it sounds like you're...
He could hire the top-of-the-line prostitute.
Seems like you're speaking... You might want to shut up before you know...
No, it's a reality. It's a reality.
Speaking out of experience?
No, I'm not, but it's a reality.
It's a better option than drugging people.
So you're saying they could have role-played and he could have drugged the prostitute...
If he paid for it, I agree with that.
But Socrates, you're avoiding me on that question. So you saying, does it apply in every crime or just the famous black people crime?
No, I said and looked at the body of work.
Okay, so the swimmer at Stanford, getting into Stanford is an
He
accomplishment.
didn't have any body of work.
Okay,
he was
nothing you like.
Just getting started out. But, the deal is that we have some things we have to take in consideration, and age and contributions that he made. And so he should not he should not be, I'm telling you now, he should not be in jail. He should not currently be incarcerated.
No, okay,
he should be released.
There's a safety issue, a health issue.
I agree with that. The pardon is the problem.
Yeah.
You don't pardon somebody
someone
for doing something.
How else you going to get him out, Rich?
No, they release people all the time because it's either, usually what happens.
Okay, well then I didn't know that. I thought he had to get pardoned.
No. Usually what happens, and Hinds County does it all the time. If someone comes in with a medical issue where Hinds County's got to, like, I haven't told you this Jenkins boy story, but there was a gentleman, and
y'all listening?
I'll keep it short. I'll get a text now. Thanks, Richie. I'll have to talk to him. They had one person who robbed the bank, and I've told it on the podcast before. He robbed a bank. And he couldn't divide $82,366 by 3, but he had 2 bullets in his gun, and he was 2 other people, so he shot those 2 guys, and he got double murder. So he got double life. He called me from jail when I was in law school because it was the first time I got the magical phone call that says this call originates from Parchman. And he got charged with rape. And I said, what woman did you rape in Parchman? Oh, that 18-year-old guy wanted it. He just embarrassed. Mm-hmm. He got AIDS then. Well, 4 years. Now, this is early 90s or 96. Mississippi, there was that litigation going where the prisoners deserve AIDS medication or not. And it was overturned or something. And, no, he won it. They won it where he had to get AZT meds. But it cost $5,000 a month. Well, that destroyed the budget of Parchman for health care. So they paroled him. Pled guilty to rape, double murder, and he's knocking on somebody's cousin's house in Greenville. And he looks at us and says, you got to take me to Greenville so I can hit a cop so I can throw him back in Parchman. I'll be dead in 90 days. So we drove him there. He hit the guy, and when he got to Parchman...
You're an accessory. Don't ever admit to that.
Statute of limitations. When he got to Parchman, they kicked him out again, and he had to go to Memphis to get his drugs. They release you all the time for health issues because they have a set budget, and it does, now they make up the reason, but if someone is getting sick or some like what was the guy from MCI? They released him at the end, didn't they? Bernie.
Yeah,
because he was blind and deaf. But most of that is because they don't want to foot the bill.
Yeah, that's right.
And you're not going to go rob
He's
somebody.
another guy that should not have stayed in prison that long.
So anybody who has money, they can steal.
I didn't say he had money.
Drug.
I said his body of work. How he worked.
He bankrupt half of the retirement accounts in Mississippi.
He definitely hurt mine.
Yeah.
My case.
Yeah, so
Yay,
Bernie!
Yeah, he did a lot of good things too, didn't he?
Depends on what time.
Well,
got
I mean,
out of
what
the
exactly
roll
did he
call.
do?
Yeah.
Well, I don't know. He created.
How much did he pay you?
Not a dime.
He,
Okay.
he created some jobs, but they all went down the toilet.
No, but here.
He was a self-made guy. He was a basketball coach or something, and he came up with WorldCom,
Yeah.
and he did all of that stuff.
Listen, he's a great businessman.
He did some things that we need to study and understand how he was able to put that together. Now I don't know how badly he got off track with his CFO or whomever that was doing the books and trying to, make the company look more stable than it was. Probably wasn't. He probably didn't even know they were doing that, quite frankly.
Someone told me that when he was a coach, a basketball coach, if you go down to the courthouse, that he had a similar company or some company where he was cooking the books and paying, robbing from Peter to pay Paul and selling stuff. And he got almost sued out of existence, but it wasn't that big of a company. So when they heard about this WorldCom things and he didn't know what was going on, they're like, yeah, he stole from me back at 20 years ago, the same thing. Yeah. And there's so many, like the guy who started FedEx, he mortgaged his plane 6 times. Now today that would be wire fraud, mail fraud, but he paid everybody back and no one knew it. So, I mean, it is a question of when are you just a good old boy or when you're someone taking a chance and living your dream. If you make it, no one cares. It is when you bust, what's the guy's name that was the stock? Madoff.
Yeah.
Why would you invest in anybody named Madoff?
That's
the dumbest
They were
thing
making 150% return on
Madoff with your
investment.
money?
Yeah, he did.
Wow. God.
I'm a
Dr.
fan
J,
of
for the
his
record.
because he created Beatrice Foods, and
So just for the record, Madoff, Bernie, Weinstein,
Hitler,
and
Mussolini.
Bill Cosby.
Everybody.
Mussolini was
Night
great.
Stalker in
Mussolini
there.
did
Is
some
the
good
Night
things.
Stalker
Hitler
in
did some
there?
good things.
Is the BTK killer in there? He was a cop, wasn't he? He arrested a lot of people before he was raping people and killing people. Just go ahead and give us your top 10 criminals of all time.
So I don't think people think about the psychological effects rape have on women.
Oh,
like,
you're right.
It really does something too. It changes people.
I've been telling you about that.
Great. Now I got someone supporting Bill Cosby and someone's making fun of rape. This is a great show. Put this one right into the
Down the
top.
toilet.
But anyway, no,
I got a lot of people would support me on the Bill Cosby thing.
name 4.
Well, they're not in this room. That's
Okay.
for sure.
I mean,
It's only one out of this
your
four.
friends.
So you think they would support you if their daughters were one of the victims of Bill Cosby?
No, I think they would have a difficult time supporting me if their daughter was the victim. But, so I can understand that. But
Okay, let me ask you this. This happens all the time, and we can't get into certain details. Famous athletes or football players, especially in college.
OJ.
Well, that wasn't in college, but yes.
OJ was great in college. He had the rushing record.
Heisman Trophy winner.
Yeah, he had.
But what I'm saying is, OJ beats up a woman. Okay. Does he get charged because he's your number 1 running back? He's going to be drafted top 5.
Well, quite honestly, they do keep that secret.
Oh
to
no,
keep
that's
them
what I'm
on the
saying.
team. They do it every day.
We know this all the time. But what I'm
Yeah.
saying is, would you be agree to that? Because the argument is he's going to bring in millions of dollars. He's going to do this, and if we let it out, you're just going to run. You're going to run the whole community.
Well, wait a minute. If he allegedly hit somebody, then you ought to let him play because he's not guilty.
Playing sports is an activity.
I understand,
it's
but he
not a right.
allegedly does not mean he did it.
And I mean, what he's talking about, when I was at Ole Miss, and Richie's heard this story, we've hung out too much. There was a defensive player, and it's documented by CNN. He took a desk and threw it at a professor, one of those small desks.
Yeah.
Large individual. He used to slap women, and the chief of inspectors arrested him. And allegedly, it was not there. It was related to me. The coach, the AD, and this happened 20 years ago, and the chancellor said he has to start against Georgia. And the chief of investigators was telling me this. He came to my gym. We knew each other. And I was like, what are you doing here, sir? And he was dressed. We usually worked out together. He said, since I can't arrest that crew, and on the way out, for whatever reason, he said, if you get arrested one more time or you do anything to anybody on campus, I don't care if they fire me, I'm going to arrest you. And this guy was serious. This guy was a DA agent. He retired. He came up to Oxford. Very nice gentleman. They said to the chief of investigators, we going to get Brent Hazard. And I was sitting there. He was telling me this story, and I was like, what? I haven't seen these guys. They're playing in season. We used to play basketball all the time. And his response to me was, since I can't arrest him, Mr. Hazard, you can carry a gun on campus because we understand who you are and you'll be fine. But I can't arrest them, so we're not going to arrest you. And I sat there thinking, this is insane. But that was big SEC football.
Yeah.
And
big money.
Big money.
Big money.
And I was sitting
and
there
he
thinking,
was a great player.
Yeah, he got drafted to the NFL.
He was a great player.
There was a crew of them, and two of them went to have NFL careers.
We don't want to talk about who they are.
They're not suing me.
No, but they might now.
No, I mean, all this happened because I couldn't make it up. And now nothing happened between us, but in basketball games, when young men, as Socrates might have learned the hard way, I'm not really going to back down for anybody. And there were we never got in fights. There were elbows, there were body slams, but it was all what I just call pickup game. But, it was just a Saturday. Yeah. But no. Wait, I put that on my mother's grave because I was sitting there like, what are you doing here? He's like, I need to talk to you. And I was like, what am I about to get arrested for? And when he told me that, I was like, there's never in a million years that, and to have the audacity to tell a law enforcement officer you're coming after me. But like I said, nothing happened. But, in your world, should they have covered that up because they produced money for...
Hey, look, when Bear Bryant had his first black player, he told his entire defensive unit, you got to stop him. You got to stop him. And he ran 3 touchdowns during practice, and they came back to back. So we can't stop him. We can't stop this black guy. And I'm going to be good with my language. We can't stop him. Bear Bryant said, I don't see no black guy.
Okay, what's your point about rape, Bill Cosby?
So the deal was, he said that if you can't stop him, I want him on my team.
Okay,
I don't think Bear Bryant could see anybody as much as he drank.
and you got to be careful. I don't think what happened to Michael Vick was fair at all. I mean, a man ought to be able to fight his dog if he wants to, in my opinion.
Whoa!
Even though it's against the law.
Why do we have a law? When do we lose the? When did we lose the right to? When we lose the right to fight our chicken and to fight our dog?
You're okay with rapists, dog killers?
No, I'm just saying.
Do you fight dogs?
No, I'm just saying this man. It's his dog.
I saw something in the back here. Is that a dog fighting ring?
Well, man. It's just.
Whoa! How many dogs have you put down?
Look! I put the one down that I went hunting with him, and he walked right behind me in the woods. I shot him.
We need to get you in counseling. That's the problem. You're a sociopath. No. It's just that you don't know what right or wrong is.
Well,
but it's the law.
Get the dog away.
You can't let somebody just break the law because they think it's morally right. That's why they make laws. You can't break a law and not be expected to be punished.
The privileged are privileged enough. And I mean, it's like Michael Jordan. And we get back to our say. I want to ask him, since these two doubled up on me because you quit on me, would you exchange your life for Michael Jordan here today?
No. Are you kidding? Change his life.
No, your life. Would you, if you could be Richard Schwartz or Michael Jordan?
Oh, yeah. Yes, I would definitely be Michael Jordan.
You sure you want to be black?
I don't care. I want to be Michael Jordan.
Young, go ahead and apologize. Now, let me explain this. I would want to be Michael Jordan because it's the greatest basketball player. He wants to be Michael Jordan because of $1 billion.
That's right.
Okay, so let me go ahead and explain that. But yes, Michael Jordan, I researched this after we talked. Michael Jordan had he had a main racial issue where some girl called him the N-word and he threw a Coke can at 8th grade. And I can tell you, after he went to North Carolina, those folks in North Carolina, after he won them a national championship, they didn't mention that name anymore to Michael Jordan. And then he came on to be the greatest basketball player ever, and he owns a team, and now he's worth about $3.7 billion, and he's an icon.
Wow.
So let me ask you this. Did you hear about the black police officer that they fired for saying the word nigger?
Whoa, I don't think you can say that on our show. You can say it on your show, but I don't think you can say it on our show. Thank you.
The N-word.
Here
but you
or
have,
nationwide?
But you have police officers who've done worse and still have their jobs.
And listen, comedians use it all the time.
All the time.
Well, no,
All the time.
But see, legally speaking, there was a case in Philadelphia where a white guy was working for a black radio station. And everybody at the black radio station who was black used that word, especially because y'all know they're entertainers or they're coming in and out. And he used it. And they fired him immediately. And he sued under Title VII because it was not a fair and equal treatment. Now, I do believe they settled that case. But it raises an interesting issue because this is what happens to me. People from this show or people in the community, I had a nice plumber the other day come up to me. And he was talking about this water, and we were having, and every other word was the N-word. And I said, "Sir, would you please stop saying that?" And he kind of stared at me, and you get in, if you're not careful, you get in that environment, and then next thing you know, it just accidentally comes out as a colloquialism because, you're rapping or you're singing or you're talking, and then as a 20-year-old, 18-year-old, I didn't see the issue with it. As a 48-year-old, I see the issue with it now and understand what that word really means.
There's an old saying about that. You hang around the barbershop
Go ahead and say it. Go ahead and say what
you
you're
hang around the barbershop long enough, sooner or later you're going to get clipped.
Yeah.
That's just what it is.
Well, no, I mean, the reality is it is an interesting dynamic when you're talking about that word in law enforcement because I've heard certain law enforcement around here use that word when they're talking about arresting black men. And you're like, I don't know if you should be saying that.
Yeah.
But it does raise an interesting, your point, sir?
Well, I just wanted to get back to Richie just a little bit on the law. Because
Not
Richie
on Michael
is a
Jordan,
fan
you're
of Richie is a fan of the law.
I'm a fan of not going to jail.
He believes that the law was written and we should all obey the law.
Have you seen the cowboy commercial?
I have seen it.
And what the hell does that have to do with the law?
I thought it was an
Segregation.
excellent.
No,
was
no,
the
wait a
law.
minute.
I thought it was an
I
excellent
just think if
commercial.
you break the law, you know you're going to be punished. You know there's a penalty for breaking the law, and
but
he
we
took that risk.
We have so many bad laws, and
Well, so you just ignore the laws you don't like?
well,
Name the three you
Rape,
don't like.
murder,
Rape, murder, and dogs.
and dogs.
no, I'm just saying so many
I'm
bad
getting a
laws, like
search warrant for this place.
crack cocaine, possession of small amount
Okay,
of crack
do you think drugs
cocaine.
should be
I think that's a
legalized?
bad law.
Do you think drugs should be legalized?
Well, I
It's a yes or no
certainly.
question.
I don't know whether I think it should be
You
legalized.
don't know what you
I
think?
know.
You don't think.
I know that I think that the penalty for the possession of the small amounts of marijuana that put 80% of the black folk in prison is a bad law.
Okay, Richie,
that's changing.
Do you believe drugs should be legalized?
It's working in some other countries.
I didn't ask you, is it working? I'm asking you. Why are y'all avoiding these questions?
I would say no.
Okay.
I'd say some drugs should be legalized, like marijuana and maybe some others, but hard drugs, no.
Dr. J, should drugs be legalized?
No.
And yes, they should.
I don't consider
Does that include
marijuana.
marijuana?
I don't consider marijuana a drug.
Oh, now she's amending over here. Now
It comes from the earth.
So does cocaine. They come from a cocoa plant.
But you have to mix something to actually get the
Okay.
cocaine.
You can just suck on a cocoa leaf, from what I heard.
You know, you hear a lot.
From some exes.
You know a lot.
No. If we can't keep drugs out of jail, they should be legalized. Now you should be forced to go to treatment,
Right.
and you should not get a defense. If I get high or I'm on heroin, I'll run somebody over. That should not be a defense. But no, if we can't keep drugs out of parchment, they should be legalized.
Well,
We can't
I
keep
don't
drugs
think
out of
anybody should go to jail for low dosage of marijuana, by no means.
I'd sell heroin at Walmart. I mean, no, okay, no, but sincerely, we four do not
You
use,
would do what now?
I would sell crystal meth, any drug you want should be legal. Because here's the thing, no one here does not do drugs because it's illegal. Because if you're going to smoke dope, you're going to smoke dope. Or if you're going to use drugs, or if you're going to abuse prescriptions, you're going to do it. But we choose not to live that lifestyle. It's not because it's illegal. You can't dictate human behavior.
So I'm not 100% sold on that, because if drugs are harder to get, there's a greater chance you're not going to use it. If they're prevalent, there's a greater chance you are going to try.
But what I'm saying is...
And maybe get hooked.
But one, okay, I don't believe people get hooked on drugs. I believe people have pre-existing addictive personalities, or they're self-medicating.
I don't know that answer.
I'm coming
like
from
in their DNA?
No, yes, because, I mean, if you're talking about self-medicating for bipolar, I come from a long line of alcoholics and addicts. So, I mean, what they're doing is no addict was sitting there with no mental issues. They've either had, and also as a prosecutor, they've either been abused, raped, or they're self-medicating manic depressive issues. And, I mean, when you're sitting there like that, because some people can do cocaine, some people can do heroin and walk away from it and never do it again. Those addicts, you will lock them up, you can put them away, and they're still going to use until they decide or recognize, I have an addiction. I can't have that one drink. I can't have that one hit of whatever. It's like saying, to me, saying marijuana is a gateway drug is like saying kissing is a gateway act of rape. No, it's not.
Well, I don't know. I grew up in a Holiness church, and we couldn't dance because dancing
Leads to
provoked
sex.
emotions in you that cause you to lust, which is a sin.
So that's why you got it's okay to drug women? Because you couldn't
So
dance?
dancing, dancing was a gateway activity to sin.
I don't believe there's gateway activities.
Well, I'm not holding my mouth.
I do believe people have underlying other issues that makes them keep using drugs or whatever it is that they're addicted to.
Well, I think there's a medical addiction to drugs. Your body gets used
There's
to
a physical addiction.
Yeah, and those don't necessarily have a mental condition. They just become physically
But you
addicted.
can get over that. You can detox physically in like 7 days.
Well, but again, you're going to want them to have to know that they've got a problem and they want to do
That's
it.
the mental issue.
But yeah, it becomes a mental issue after you become addicted to drugs.
No. What I'm saying is those people, once again, coming from addicts, the people who are bipolar are trying to balance themselves out. And you don't know they're trying to balance themselves out.
I agree with that, but
physical.
that's not every single person that's addicted to drugs has that kind of problem.
And what I'm saying is, I guarantee you they've either been physically abused or mentally abused, or no one walks out and says, hey, I'm going to do heroin and I'm going to do this, and it just all of a sudden becomes addictive because people quit it.
But kids use drugs because they think it's cool. They go to a party, someone, hey, try this, and they become addicted.
No, but think about how many kids don't. How many kids that you know, or how many people have been 9th grade, 10th grade, tried that beer, tried that marijuana, tried that LSD, and they went ahead.
But there is a lot of pressure on kids to fit in.
Okay, but there's always been pressure, but that doesn't lead to addicts. What I'm saying is that we know addicts. Like there's a guy, I'm sure Dr. J saw this, was it a black guy at Columbia, says I use heroin every night. And they're like, what? He said, it calms me down. And I just use like one little syringe full, but it calms me down. I don't care if you can, as long as you can be functional. I don't care if you're doing cocaine. I don't care what you're doing.
But he's got a job making hundreds of thousands of dollars. Most of the people who are addicted to these drugs have to go rob.
That's what I'm saying.
To make it. And so you're saying it's okay if you're economically capable of using drugs?
No, I'm saying if you're functional. I'm saying if you're
That's a racist statement. That's
racist.
racist
Statement.
That's racist.
If you're functional.
Poor people
are functional. There's functional alcoholics.
No.
But they have to have money to pay for it.
They have to rob and steal for the drug. That's what. So that's a racist statement.
Or you could just work harder. The stockbrokers that do coke just make a lot of money to do coke. I don't care that they do coke.
I don't know any black stockbrokers. You know,
Do you know
there
other
are-
people
there are a
besides
lot.
black?
Yeah,
Are we the only
there are a
two
lot
white
more than
people
you
you
think.
know?
yeah, there might be, but I didn't see.
Okay.
I didn't see one
Well,
when I came
there's
up.
there's some lawyers out there that might have a habit or two, and as long as they can get up in the morning and not hurt anybody, to me, we shouldn't regulate anything till you hurt somebody else. And then on top of that, Richie, your solution is to stick them in a place that we can't keep drugs out of.
No, I didn't say that was the solution.
Well, I'm just saying.
Now you changed the subject. You're
No,
talking about,
no,
you're
what
talking
I'm
about
saying
prison reform at this point.
Well, that's what I'm saying. I can't stop an addict from being an addict. I can't. I can't lock him
you're
up.
Right, you're right until they're ready to change.
And what I'm saying
Absolutely.
is, if you want to be an addict, and all addicts don't steal. If you want to be an addict or you enjoy sticking a needle in your arm and you don't hurt anybody, man, Walmart's over there. Go buy it. Go to a hotel.
Well, what do you do when he hurts someone, though?
Then you treat him. You arrest him for hurting someone, not for using drugs.
Oh, okay.
But I don't agree with that. Somebody's got to pay for the drugs. If they're drugged up, they're not working. They got to go rob and steal.
No,
and you know for a fact, like I do, 85% or 90% of all crimes are drug related.
And what I'm saying is, I disagree with your assessment there. They're drug related because drugs are illegal. Not everybody buying drugs, I would say, is the majority of the 85%. It's not the robbing and the people who rob.
It's a bunch of people who use drugs that never get caught.
Correct. And what I'm saying is the people who just can use drugs and not commit crimes, and especially if you lower the illegality costs where it is wholesale, like, people are trying to do with marijuana, then once again, statistically, the number one drug to do damage in America is alcohol. It's legal. If y'all talking about damage, there's more domestic abuse, there's more lost jobs.
More people don't get pregnant.
Do you?
Because of alcohol.
Wow. If that's said, we're going to end this
Well, let me ask you
show.
one question before you
Okay.
end.
You do suck because you don't know. You like rapists, you don't like white people, and you kill dogs.
and maybe next show, but I'd like to.
You're not being invited back there, Bill Cosby. You're not. You can do whatever
So
you want.
I was going to ask you
might
what happened.
slip us a Mickey.
What happened?
Exactly.
Why did we have to send?
Dr. J tonight. You make it home okay? You okay?
I wanted to know why we had to send Tiger Woods down to Hattiesburg.
We didn't send Tiger Woods down to Hattiesburg.
Well, what did he go down there for?
Because
Sex
the
addiction.
advertisers were about to leave his ass. he had to do
Whoa,
something.
whoa. But
So he went down there to take some kind of drug.
No, he went down there
he was
to
a
deal with
sex
his
addict.
addiction.
He was a sex addict.
And so that you take drugs to get rid of that?
No,
you
go
to
to counseling.
Oh, counseling.
Yes. When you're worth $1 billion and you're getting the nasty on out of Perkins on a Tuesday at 9 and you're Tiger Woods, you might have an issue.
Oh, okay. Well, I
Now,
like.
maybe it's instant gratification. Maybe it's, I don't believe in true sex addiction. I believe in lack of control and impulse control issues. Gambling
Well, I
issues.
believe back in the day when we had Babe Ruth,
Be careful. This isn't
and
19.
we had
This
Mickey
isn't
Mantle and
1980.
Babe Ruth,
Bill Cosby's in jail. Don't join him.
and men had a great
Oh,
time.
men are
They
men,
had
and
sex
women were
with lots of
scared.
women. They drank lots of alcohol, and they were our heroes. Somewhere all that changed.
Why women can't have sex with a lot of men and be
Oh,
heroes?
they do that.
But-
Madonna.
but-
Not with him, though.
But
Madonna.
you all label them hoes and other.
But Babe Ruth was a hoe. Basketball players are
Why is
hoes.
it good for men? That's what I want to talk about next week. Why is it good for men but not good
Well,
for
no,
women?
I disagree
There
with
is a
that.
double standard in society. On
I
that.
disagree with that in
I
2021.
think there is a double
I mean,
standard.
okay, wait. You know how to get famous right now? Have a
Accuse
sex
people of-
tape.
Go
Have a
on
sex tape.
Instagram.
Kim Kardashian
Wow.
became a almost billionaire with a sex tape. But Britney Spears, Paris Hilton all had sex tapes. So I mean, I understand what used to be, but in 2021 nowadays, it's a marketing move. And if you have low sales, hey, let's have a little scandal. Hey, and it happens for men and women.
And that's why I don't think
Bill Cosby should
and
be
those
arrested.
guys, women now are playing football, they referees, they're doing everything they want to do in the world. So when someone approaches you about sex and you don't want that, just slap the hell out of them and keep going.
Do you
They still
understand
make
the
less
difference
money than the
between
men.
Okay, but do y'all
They still
understand
do.
the difference
Why
between
they got to have so much protection at this point when in fact they have the ability
Wow.
to say no.
Wow.
Nobody.
Hold on.
Wow.
No, Como didn't rape anybody.
you realize
I'm
women.
just saying, man.
Well, who didn't rape any? Well, we back on Bill.
I'm saying.
Do you know when someone's passed out and someone's having sex with you? That's
I
rape.
said Como.
I
I
really-
didn't say Bill.
Oh.
Why would anyone want to have sex with a girl who's passed out on a
I
couch?
think
That is sick alone.
That is.
That's called rape for a reason.
No, but that means you're something mentally wrong with him that you
I'm
would
not the one-
enjoy.
Okay, that end wants Bill out. I don't want Bill out. So don't look at me and explain to me drugging. I understand the concept. Even if I win 3 Oscars and write 100 million books,
Right.
I can't go drug a woman.
And sell a lot of Jello.
Yeah, and sell a lot of Jello. How many packets of Jello do I have to sell so I can get away with 3 rapes? Anyway, we don't know what we talked about, but we tried to be a little light this week. Of course, we never got back to. We were going to talk about the 1.9 trillion, but we're running out of time. Predictions: when do we get water?
We have it now. And some houses still don't have it.
No, they don't have it where you can drink it or wash. Do you
Oh,
have
oh.
drinking water?
Well,
I don't
let's
have
be honest
drinking
with you.
water.
No, you can never drink Jackson water anytime. Let's just be honest about it.
Well,
You don't want to drink it if you can avoid it.
Maybe
Get
if the
bottled
city
water.
bought some dog fighting pits for Socrates, he'd help us. Socrates, what you're the expert. When do we have clean drinking water in Jackson?
It's going to be a long time. We're going to have to upgrade the entire system before people are going to have confidence that they can drink the water.
In the pipes.
And the pipes.
And the
the
pipes. The
distribution
pipes are a big
system.
problem, too.
And that's a very expensive proposition.
Okay, we'll discuss that maybe next week. But we will thank you guys for listening. It's been fun.
Good
we'll
show.
see y'all next week.
Have you had your Earthblend coffee today? At Earthblend Coffee, we take pride in offering you the very best of beans across the world, blended and roasted to perfection, giving you superior quality and satisfying and flavorful taste. Experience the world in one cup with Earthblend Coffee.
To order, visit earthblendcoffee.co now.